Rafat al-Arir is one of Gaza's most prominent writers, activists. He was dead. He was killed in an airstrike. His sister's home was hit. His brother, sister, her 4 kids, others died. He's dead. I commented on the tweet about his death, and my comment was the word good. Stand by it. A baby, an Israeli baby, was found in an oven. Hamas had taken the baby, placed the child in an oven, and turned it on. Eli Beer recounted this. His group was among the first to respond to and witness the atrocities of October 7th. Hamas literally threw a Jewish baby in an oven and baked the baby alive. Rafat al-Arir, who died yesterday in an Israeli airstrike, commented about the baby being baked alive in the oven, and his comment was this: with or without baking powder. That was his comment. Wonder if they put baking powder on the JDAM. Good riddance. The man was a prominent advocate for what Hamas was doing. And, there are consequences. It is increasingly clear that it is not Hamas that's the problem, but the people of Gaza, the majority of them who cheer on the Hamas atrocities, not because they live in fear of Hamas, but because they support it. These people, Israel's providing them a path out, providing them a path to safety, and their own government is blocking them, their own government. I am more and more mindful of the fact that a lot of these people, they are the enemy. They certainly don't sound at all like they are our friends. This is the executive director of the Council of American Islamic Relations. Listen to this. Nahad Awad. Listen.
So I hope, unlike so many people who only woke up to October 7th, the people of Gaza have been aware and living every day of October 6th, 5th, 4, 3, 1, and September 31st, and all the way to 1956. The people of Gaza only decided to break the siege, the walls of the concentration camp, on October 7th. And yes, I was happy to see people breaking the siege and throwing down the shackles of their own land and walk free into their lands that they were not allowed to walk in.
Listen, he's talking about going into Israel.
The people of Gaza have the right to self-defense, have the right to defend themselves. And yes, Israel as an occupying power does not have that right to self-defense.
Got that? Israel doesn't have a right to self-defense because it's an occupying power. And he's talking about how the people of Gaza broke down the wall and took back their land, went into their land. He's meaning into Israel to kill the Israelis.
And this is not me emotionally speaking. This is what the international law says, that an occupier power has no self-defense from the territory it occupies. While we hear the entire world, hypocritical world, is denying the occupied the right to self-defense and granting the right to be aggressive to the occupier.
This is a justification of Hamas. Not Hamas as a terrorist organization, Hamas as a governing entity taking back its land, meaning the land of Israel. This is the executive director of the Council of American Islamic Relations. This man is on the side of terrorist enemies of this country. This is the voice of the leading Islamic organization in this country. He's siding with terrorists who threw a baby into an oven and baked that baby alive. He's siding with the terrorists who tied a father and child together, poured gasoline on them while they were alive, and lit a match. He's talking about defending the terrorist who chopped off the heads of children. He's talking about the terrorist who raped women so violently they broke their pelvises before putting bullets in their head. He's talking about the terrorist who killed children and grandmothers. He's talking about the terrorist who killed kids who went to a music festival for peace. He's talking about defending those people, saying they were taking back their land and that Israel has no right to self-defense because it is an oppressive occupier of Palestinian territory. This man's an abomination. This man is evil. This man and his organization are not on the side of the Americans and frankly should probably be put on the terror watch list after saying something like that. The White House has denounced him, not by name, but very clearly about him, denounced him. The president released a statement denouncing him. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman from Georgia, she went to an event with the white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist, white nationalist, hates the Jews, made jokes about killing Jews and the Holocaust. I doubt Marjorie Taylor Greene knew any of that. She was roundly condemned for having gone to his event and has shied away from him ever since. But Republicans were forced to denounce her, had cameras shoved in their face, say, what do you think about her going to this guy's event? Democrats are rarely ever forced to denounce showing up at Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam events. They should be denounced for having anything to do with CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. They should be made to run for the hills and distance themselves from this. This man justifying the beheading of babies. This man is justifying baking a child in an oven, burning the child up in an oven. This man is defending the raping of women. An Islamic imam in Gaza has come out now and said it's justified. The sexual abuse of the Israeli women is actually justified in the Quran, this imam has said. These people are monsters. And the monsters need to be put down in some capacity or another, silenced, driven out, cast out, shunned, shamed. But you have no sense of shame if you think that Israel has no right to self-defense. And the Gaza scholar who died, good riddance to the man. He was a Hamas supporter who gave voice to Hamas and legitimized its cruelty and actions. I apologize for nothing on that front. These people have no shame in their cruelty and their monstrousness and in their ability to justify their evil. They claim their evil is good and that the good is evil. No, we need moral clarity. And I got to say, good for Joe Biden and the White House for releasing a statement. They wanted to dance around it. They wanted to play footsie because they don't want to lose the Islamic vote. But they did come out and put distance between them and the executive director of CARE. They should do more, but at least they did that. You know someone who's provided some moral clarity? I'll tell you who after I play the audio.
We've seen the presidents of some of our most elite universities literally unable to denounce calling for the genocide of Jews as anti-Semitic. That lack of moral clarity is simply unacceptable. We've seen a restaurant owner who's a friend of mine accused of genocide simply because he's Jewish. We've all seen college students afraid to go to class. We've seen people afraid to go to markets, afraid to go to synagogues, literally being attacked on our streets.
That was the president. That was the vice president's husband, who is Jewish. It's the second gentleman of the United States of America. Dug him off. Good for him, providing some more clarity. I'm telling you guys, listen, I think this is a point you really need to take home. You and I can disagree so vehemently on the politics of so many people on the other side, but you need to note who's standing against clear evil and who's not on the other side. And as many of them are not, there are some who are, and it's worth pointing out that those people are standing on a clear side between good and evil.
When the world